Hey, what is going on to the Shiba Inu family and to the Shiba Inu army? Wow, do we have a lot to discuss about in today's video. We are going to be talking about Cathie Wood. We're going to be even talking about Elon Musk and also the whales, what they're doing right now with the flow of the entire cryptocurrency market, because then we will try to use all this data to support our general theses with what Shiba Inu specifically will be doing within these next few weeks and in the longer term time frame. So you guys already know we're going to be getting both the fundamentals and the technical news to try to support our theses once again. So let's just get started with the first piece of data that we have, which is Bitcoin All Exchange Reserve. And I know what you're thinking, no, this is not a Bitcoin video, but again, we're just using this to understand where a lot of this money is flowing in, because we're going to try to understand what the whales are doing. And then after this, we are going to be talking about both Cathie Wood and Elon Musk. So first, let's start off right over here though. So last year, approximately 1 year ago, so that would be November 22nd of 2020, we were at a price range of just about below $24,000 for Bitcoin. And remember, we're going to be relating this to Shiba Inu. So pay close attention, because as soon as we go over here, what the black line indicates is that the price. And so what the purple line is going to be indicating of, it is going to be indicating how much coins are currently held in a lot of these Bitcoin exchanges. And so over here, we can see that there are roughly 2.43 million Bitcoins being held across a lot of exchanges. So that's a pretty good number, because that really indicates that, wait a minute, there are a lot of holders going on right now and people are holding rather than selling. But then you go over here and you can see that the coins are getting less and less, right? Just a little bit though, not by a lot. But you have to understand that this also inversely contrasts with the price of Bitcoin, because as there become less and less coins being held across these exchanges, you can see that the price of Bitcoin starts to go up. And I do believe this also had something to do with Elon Musk, because I believe around this time, don't quote me on this, but I do believe, I'm gonna have to check it again once more, but around this time, Elon Musk, that was when he announced that Tesla was gonna start accepting Bitcoin. And so understandably, Bitcoin decides to have this huge rally going all the way from, what is this price? It is about just below $36,000, and then it goes all the way up. And yes, it does go to about $60,000 in just one coin price. And you can also see, again, we're trying to relate this to how many coins are currently being held. You can see that the amount of coins being held across these exchange reserves are about 2.4 million. And then we go all the way back up. So as the price decides to fall, inversely, the amount of coins being held decides to increase back again. And so I really do think that a lot of these graphs, it just foreshadows what is going to be coming in the future. The reason for that is because once more people decide to hold their coins, guess what happens to Bitcoin? This is why, again, we need to understand what the whales are doing. We're not going to pay attention to this chart or this chart. We are not going to try to understand the exchange's outflow, nor are we going to try to understand the exchange's inflow, although these are very important metrics. So over here, we can understand that the volume is getting a little bit lower, but I will talk about this in just a few moments. And then we will not really need to understand the all exchanges net flow. So again, let's go ahead and talk about how many people are currently holding. So over here, the price was declining. They wanted you to get a lot of fear. They wanted you to sell your Bitcoin, but what do you know? They are deciding to accumulate more Bitcoin. More people are holding. And then what do you know again? The price decides to increase, and then that is when they decide to liquidate their positions, and that is when they decide to hold less and less Bitcoin. And so right now we are at this level right over here. We can see that we have a great divide between the all exchange reserve, which is the purple line, versus the price of Bitcoin right now. And this is not up to date. I believe this is behind about 2 days, because it is not November 20th. It is actually November 22nd. The price is not $60,000, but nonetheless, we need to understand and we need to pay attention to this purple line specifically, because within these next few days, I want to try to understand what are the whales going to do. Cathie Wood did mention, and we will talk about this much more in just a few moments, but she does mention that there could be a possible warning right now with the crypto market. But do not worry. And again, we're going to explain that in just a few moments. So now let's go over here and talk about the exchange inflow. I know I just said we weren't going to talk about this too much, which we will not. So very quickly, we are going to be talking about how the volume does play a huge factor into all this. So around the beginning of January of 2021, we have a huge amount of inflow, and that does cause, subsequently, it is very parallel, right, a direct correlation. It decides to go up with more volume. That does make sense. However, now we are starting to see, pay attention to this volume right over here. You can't really understand this just from a technical analysis chart, which is why I think that these charts are absolutely perfect. And so over here, we do see that the volume is declining, right? It is very much declining, and it's actually a little bit interesting right over here at this point. Around May 21st of 2021, we had a huge amount of volume and then actually decided to go down in the coin price. But you have to understand that with these whales, they decide to add when everyone is selling, and they decide to sell when everyone is buying. Look over here, look at this correlation. So we're at the absolute lows for Bitcoin, or relatively the lows, at around $30,000. And then what do you know, around that same time frame, which is going to be July of 2021, you also see that the whales, they are increasing their Bitcoin position like crazy. This is when they had a huge spike to the upside. And then what decides to follow after that? Bitcoin decides to rise. That was a lot lot of talk about Bitcoin, and we didn't even get to the Cathie Wood news, but we will momentarily. I just decided that, you know what, we should actually talk about Shiba Inu first, the coin, before we talk about Cathie Wood, so hopefully it will make even more sense, right? So we are currently on the 1-year, 1-day chart, and again, it does make sense. So the reason why I was talking about all that data in the first place is because look at the volume, right? I'm actually going to label this in this rectangular box right over here. The volume does make sense. It is declining. So now that we understand, we have some parallel data within Bitcoin and also Shiba Inu. So the volume of Bitcoin decreasing, the volume of Shiba Inu also decreasing. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to be downwards from here, because also on the 1-year, 1-day chart, we have some technical indicators that we could use to our advantage. We are currently at one major technical indicator. Many are currently watching this level right now, and that is why it is extremely close. We are extremely tenacious to this one level over here, which is why it is important that we do not end up breaking this level. If we do end up breaking this level, then it looks like we will have some sort of a free fall. Now also with these technical indicators, you have to understand that it is indicating they would go to this level right over here. I'm not sure if you guys can be able to see that well, so we're going to label this with the color red. So with this red level over here, hopefully it points to this level. Yeah, this level right over here, that would be the next level that this chart is indicating to. But you also have to understand there's not enough data to understand what Shiba Inu is going to do in a technical standpoint. That is why it's all the way down here. That is why there's such a huge gap. And also, let's quickly talk about the RSI, right? The RSI is not even at the 30 level, which usually indicates an extreme amount of oversoldness, right? Over here, it was very, very oversold. This was around July 19th of 2021. That was also the same amount of time that a lot of the whales, they were buying, which hopefully you guys understood from that data I was just talking about, right? That's why all of this, it really does parallel and relate to each other. And then once you know, it just takes a little bit of patience. And then so you wait, and then out of nowhere, the price decides to skyrocket to the upside, and then the whales get rewarded. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is, do not pay attention to these two technical indicators right over here, because all that simply means is there's not enough data yet. So do not be worried, do not be fearful, and of course, make sure you guys understand that we also have to understand what the 1-hour time frame is going to be indicating for Shiba Inu, because what I'm understanding right now is that we are currently within this wedge formation. It's very crucial that we do not end up breaking this level right over here. We're actually very close to breaking above or below this wedge. But again, you also have to understand, look at the 1-day, 1-year chart. The technical indicator also indicates I actually decided to close it. So right over here, now it is back again, and we can see that we are hovering right over here. I'm actually gonna highlight it right here. Not only do we have confirmation on the 1-year, 1-day chart, but let's look again one more time at the 1-hour chart frame. And you guys can again one more time see, let's try to hide this, perfect. You guys can also see that we are very, very close to some sort of a pattern, some sort of a breakout. And right over here, we are forming a pattern, I should say, but it's just now it's a waiting game. Are we going to break above, which would indicate we go all the way over here, or are we going to indicate some sort of a reversal and no confirmation actually, and then break down below? So if we're going to break down below, it will look something like that. Even if it breaks down below, here's why it won't be that much of a problem. So on November 19th of 2021, we have Cathie Wood talking about a serious Bitcoin and Ethereum Fed warning that held her huge 500,000 price prediction. Now, why would someone still hold their $500,000 price prediction for Bitcoin if they were not bullish on the sector? That should give us a clear indication of, wait a minute, it is okay that right now the cryptocurrency market isn't performing to the best of its ability as it was just a few weeks ago. And that means that there are still a lot of possibilities and a lot of opportunities for this whole crypto space, not only for Bitcoin and not only for Ethereum, but also for these altcoins, because if there's this much flowing into Bitcoin, $500,000 price prediction, that means that there has to be a huge amount of money flowing in. If even more money decides to flow back into Bitcoin, what would happen to Ethereum? What would happen to Shiba Inu Coin? Well, in 2021, we learned that not only did Ethereum skyrocket, not only did Shiba Inu skyrocket, not only did Dogecoin skyrocket, but that also means that we just need more time, because Cathie Wood is saying that right now there is a warning with the cryptocurrency space, but need not to worry, because her price target, her predictions, her bullishness still remains for the crypto space, especially as it relates to Bitcoin and Ethereum. That just means that for us, it is going to be a waiting game, because this $500,000 price prediction, it is not going to come in a matter of a few days. It is going to take time, and the same would remain true for Shiba Inu Coin. And so I'm actually going to end this video with a quote. This quote states that, quote unquote, you will have corrections for sure if the crypto market continues to scale as dramatically as it has recently. You'll have those fear grips in the market from time to time as people simply take profits, because the profits have been enormous in the past year. And again, I do believe that this is a quote from Cathie Wood. So ultimately, let me know in the comment section, everyone, do you guys agree with Cathie Wood? Do you guys agree with Elon Musk? Do you guys believe that Bitcoin is going to go to $500,000, which will possibly help Shiba Inu Coin? Let me know all that again in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.
All right, Chamath, we don't have that much time left. Let's talk rocket ships. First, Bitcoin. That falls into that category because that's what that is. 39,000. Where's it going?
I mean, can you play the clip in 2012 and 13 when it was at 200 and everybody was laughing at me on CNBC every time I would talk about Bitcoin? Where is it going? It's probably going to 100, then 150, then 200,000. In what period? I don't know. 5 years, 10 years, but it's going there. And the reason is because every time you see all of this stuff happening, it just reminds you that, wow, our leaders are not as trustworthy and reliable as they used to be. And so just in case, we really do need to have some kind of, insurance we can keep under our pillow that gives us some access to an uncorrelated hedge.